U.S. President Donald Trump has announced a 90-day pause on tariffs for all countries except China. Amid global pushback, Trump has announced the pause. However, China has been excluded from the pause. Instead, the tariff rate has been increased to 125%. The Asian markets have bounced back after Trump announced the pause on tariff.
The last few days I've been thinking about it. I've been dealing with Scott, with Howard, with some other people that are very professional. We didn't have access to lawyers, or we just wrote it up from our hearts, right? It was written as something that I think was very positive for the world and for us. And we don't want to hurt countries that don't need to be hurt. And they all want to negotiate. We want to do it right. We want to get it right. We want to take care of them, but we have to take care of our country.
Now, last week, President Trump introduced sweeping tariffs to address the alleged trade imbalance with the US, ranging from 10% to 49%. He called them the discounted reciprocal tariffs, stating he's being kind to them by charging roughly half of what they charge us. This move rattled global markets and sparked fears of massive trade war. Reportedly, over 75 countries had negotiated and not retaliated against him, which led to the pause.
I didn't know it would have that kind of an impact, but it's, I think we have the biggest increase in the history of the stock market. That's pretty good. You're almost, if you keep going, you're going to be back to where it was 4 weeks ago. But it was a sick market 4 weeks ago, because the trade was sick. It was only a question of time. I don't blame the tariffs. I think the tariffs just sort of magnified what was happening.
However, Trump raised the tariff rate for China to 125% from the previously announced 104% that kicked off on March 9th. China also announced an additional import levy on U.S. goods, imposing an 84% tariff. When asked if he's concerned about escalations beyond the trade war with China, Trump shared,
"No, I'm not concerned. I think President Xi is a very smart guy, and I think we'll end up making a very good deal for both. But, we've been treated so badly for so many years. Again, we allowed that to happen. We've been treated so badly for so many years. But no, I don't expect that. I think President Xi is one of the very smart people of the world, and I don't think he'd allow that to happen. And we're very powerful. This country is very powerful. Let me tell you, it's far more powerful than people understand. We have weaponry that nobody has any idea what it is, and it is the most powerful weapons in the world that we have."
Major market turmoil followed Trump's announcement last week. Now, hours after the pause, the US stock market skyrocketed, reversing earlier jitter. Reportedly, it even surged to one of the biggest gains since World War II. The Dow Index surged ahead around 2,500 points, along the way to a nearly 8% gain on the session. China's currency fell to its lowest value against the US dollar, but stocks in Asia rebounded strongly in early trade on March 10th. The Indian market had also taken a plunge earlier. However, the 90-day pause gives more time to work on the deal with the US. Now, this tariff relief comes after Trump shared at a Republican dinner event that he has been told that the US is taking in $2 billion a day in tariffs.
"We're making a fortune with tariffs. $2 billion a day. Do you believe it? I was told $2 billion a day. I get hit by the press about tariffs. We're making $2 billion. This isn't 35 million, that's peanuts. $2 billion a day. In addition, we have a lot of countries coming to see us that want to make a deal."
Now facing a global market meltdown, Trump has abruptly backed off his tariffs. Reportedly, some see this as an attempt to narrow what had been an unprecedented trade war between the US and most of the world to a showdown between the US and China.